Welcome to all of you out there, astrology friends. This is your reading. It's the full moon in Capricorn reading that I'm doing today, and it's going to be a short video, so it's very short, precise, concise information about this full moon. And it's happening round at about the 3rd of July of 2023 in the midst of this Venus square Uranus kind of energy that I've been talking about in my other videos. So I'll put a link at below or a link at the end of the video. I'll do that. I do a link at the end of the video of the Venus retrograde videos that I made. And that's about the flavor of the whole month of July, what's going on there. But this is in particular the full moon, what the energy is. It's a Capricornian kind of energy in the midst of this Venus square Uranus, because the day before the full moon in Capricorn, that Venus square Uranus is going to be exact for the first time. So on the 2nd of July, rounded about that time, and also on the day of the full moon, Venus is squaring Uranus for the first time. So check out if you want to know more about that. So this video is not so much about that. This video is more about the flavor of the full moon. So in the midst of all these changes that we're going through, that has to do with our value system, which is Venus, and the square to Uranus, which is some sort of a liberation that we want to reach and a change that we want to reach according to our value system, what we love, the money that we attract in our life, the relationships that we attract, the relationship towards ourselves. We are having now this, and I say we are blessed with this full moon in Capricorn. Why? Well, first of all, every year around this time, we have a full moon in Capricorn, and Capricorn is the sign of structures. So this is all about our structures, our boundaries that we have, but also the work that we do, the career that we have, or the work that we want to put into something, depending on, I'll take a look in a minute at the 12 signs separately where this energy falls for you. But it's all about something that comes to fruition, which is a full moon. So this full moon is at 11 degrees, round and about 11 degrees of Capricorn, and it opposes the sun with Mercury at 11 degrees of Cancer. So this is the opposition. You could say that there is something coming up for all of us that has to do with some structures that we have, but that also has to do with this balance between family, which is the Cancerian energy, and between our work or our place, if we don't work, our place in society. So that is on a collective level, something that comes out there, and that we find balance between, the classical work-life balance is pretty much this moon opposite sun kind of energy in those cardinal signs. So if we want to see the fruits that we've been the work that we've been doing lately consistently, which is what Capricorn is all about, we are going to see the fruits here now in this full moon, depending on how hard we have worked on that particular area of our life that is highlighted by that moon. Now, as always, I look at what's going on with the rest of the planets when we have this full moon. Now, actually, it's good energy, because although we have the Venus square Uranus, that's one thing. But on the other hand, this full moon in Capricorn, the moon is trining Jupiter in Taurus. So we're going to have a look at for each sign where that support is coming from. It's a very earthly support. So it means it manifests in tangible things like real stuff, material goods, but also something that we feel is real. The moon trine Jupiter is feeling supported, is feeling secure. And that is good. That is very, very nice energy in the midst of all this, this Venus square Uranus energy. It's a good, like, grounding energy, you could say. And on the other hand, so the moon trines Jupiter. On the other hand, the sun trines Saturn, which is Also a very good energy, because the sun trining Saturn means again that we are grounded, that the sun in Cancer trines Saturn in Pisces. So we are grounded in our emotions, or there is availability to energy that is a little bit more grounding here, that is a little bit more going with the flow, and that is not so you could say it's calm energy. It's calm energy. Saturn trining the sun is about knowing what your identity is all about, and knowing what you should do and you should not do, and doing it. It's a very beautiful aspect of integrity. And I think that we can use this in these times of other stuff going on. Also, this full moon is ruled by Saturn. So where the full moon is in Capricorn, its ruler is Saturn. So Saturn plays a big role here now, where Saturn is in the sign of Pisces, where it tries to structure something that is not so easy to structure. Because Saturn, which is a very earthly energy and a very grounded energy, is in a sign that doesn't want that. The sign of Pisces is about just breaking the boundaries. But with this trine now, it's a lot of stability. I can't put it in other words. In the midst of energy that is full of instability. Let's put it that way. Uranus square Venus is like very volatile. And then we've got this beautiful energy here that I'm talking about that is a bit like counterpart and like putting things into balance. It's like a break even, you could say. So, what is this for? Let's have a look at each and particular sign where the support is coming from. So I'm going to look at Capricorn. I'm going to look at where Jupiter is and Saturn. Jupiter, of course, is this planet of expansion and you could say purpose, understanding, and hope. And Saturn is more the grounded energy, the more like slowly but surely. Let's have a look for Aries. For Aries, this full moon is all about career. And if you don't have a career, it's about your place in society or a parent. So this is definitely about the balance between, you could say, work and your home family, your family. The balance between that. But there could be some accomplishments that you're seeing here. And that are very good for your finances, because this beautiful full moon here in Capricorn is trining Jupiter in your second house of money. And that's a good thing. It also trines Saturn in the 12th house. So there is that stability on an unconscious level, even of support. You feel emotionally supported from maybe the other realms, if you believe in that, right? And so this is very, very nice energy for you, for sure. Notwithstanding some other stuff is playing at the background there, you could really find yourself in a situation where you have some promotion, or you are having a new job, or you can express yourself in a better way. So that's good for you. Tap into that energy for sure. Taurians, this is beautiful for you because you are an earth sign. And of course, you are feeling that Venus square Uranus very strongly because you're a fixed sign. But this energy gives you grounding, and it's on a mental level, the grounding, because this moon is in your 9th house, and your 9th house of the way that you think, and it trines Jupiter in your house, in your 1st house. So it's like almost your opinion about life, your view upon life is broader than it is, you could say, when this aspect is not happening. And there is some sort of tangible result that you're seeing in the way that you think. The way that you think is different. And there is this bigger picture that you're having. And thanks to that, thanks to your trust in the universe, but also the trust in self, you know how to handle the challenges that you are going through at this particular moment. There's also support trine to Saturn, and Saturn is in your 11th house of friends and of groups and goals for the future. So they are, your support system more than ever in a good way. It's a trine, so it means that they ground you, they have their feet on the ground, and they help you with the challenges that you are going through. Geminis, this is happening this full moon in your 8th house. So this is about your resources. It's about your values for sure. And so there could be a culmination here of the values that you receive from others. So it could be money, it could be a highlight around emotional resources, psychological resources, something that is very clear to you now. The 8th house is also deep psychological insight. So there is something brewing up for you that has to do with worth, that has to do with self-worth versus the worth of other people. And you are seeing now that there is resources from others available. And you are seeing that there is trust that you can put into others. And it shows that you have to be vulnerable, of course, but that you have to be also picky in who you are trusting. And that's a beautiful thing. And this trine to Jupiter in your 12th house is almost also some help that you're getting from, your ancestry or the spiritual world, basically. The trine to Jupiter there. You're getting help. It's all the water houses that are activated here. So you feel a lot of emotional support, and that is fantastic. The trine to Saturn is in your 10th house, giving you stability when it comes to your work, or when it comes to your relationship with parents, and your kind of, how you want to be seen in the world. Cancerians. This is with the Venus square Uranus. It was all about your values and your value system. But this is a highlight of your relationships, your romantic relationship and a business relationship, or your clients. If you work, if you have your own business and you work with clients. So something comes to fruition here. And the things that you've worked on lately is showing itself in a significant relationship. Of course, you are going to have, this is a big month for you because you're also going to have your new moon in Cancer at the very end of the month of July with Pluto. So it's not over yet, but the shifts that you are doing, the transformation that you are doing in your significant relationships. But here you already see what you have done in the past. The structures of your relationships are shifting. And you see for the first time here the result of the work that you've been doing, for better or for worse. But it seems that you have a great support system with Jupiter trining your 11th house of friends and goals. So where they give you the bigger picture, they give you support and hope, which is always good. And the trine also to Saturn in your 9th house. So the way that you think is very down to earth and very structured, you could say. And the ability to read a book or to do something cultural or to travel gives you actually more stability than ever. So that's a very good sign as well. So lots of support for you in the midst of transformation of your deep, important connections. Leos, this is your 6th house. So there is like the 6th house of your work, your day-to-day work, your routines. If you're not working, it's your day-to-day life. It's your health as well. Something comes up here that is has to do with a new structure, an improving of the work and the routines and the health. And because it's a trine to Jupiter in your 10th house, a lot of you might have a new job, a promotion. It's definitely a good time here. If you have been working hard to find a better job, to find a more meaningful job, it's really on the horizon here. And the other trine to Saturn is in your 8th house. So it's like almost that on a psychological level, you're kind of structuring and mastering your fears and your shadow, which is a good sign as well. Virgos, this is beautiful for you because as being a Virgo, you are an earth sign and the full moon is also in a fellow earth sign in your fifth house of Capricorn. This is feeling buoyant. There's some buoyancy there. There are some results of your heart chakra that has been opening up and that shows that you feel more that you can express your own uniqueness and everything that has to do with children, with love, with romance, with expression of your joy, how you express it, whether it is by having a good meal with friends, enjoying yourself by doing some sports, some hobbies, whatever. There is really nice energy available here, and it fits in with your belief system because Jupiter is trining your sign as well. So you have what we call actually a grand trine. So this is fantastic. And it's all in those fire houses, your ninth house, your fifth house, the first house. So this is all about your passion. More than ever, people will see that you are passionate, but it's very grounded. It's not like you're all over the place and super enthusiastic that you are over the top and too buoyant, so to speak, but it's so grounded and people are going to navigate towards your energy for sure, because on the one hand you are calm and on the other hand you are also with a vision and more than ever. And the ninth house is with this Jupiter is a house of travel, so this is good energy to travel, this is good energy to learn, to study, to teach, all of these things, and to see the bigger picture and to have trust in spirit, basically, and in yourself as well. So what a beautiful energy. It's a good energy to just be and to feel inspired and to share that with others, because you are Virgo is a mutable sign. So you're here to share this. And you're having this trine now to Saturn, and I mean the trine Saturn to the Sun, where the Sun is for you in the 11th house. So there is support. A lot of support might be of a friend or friends, but definitely good social connections there that are very stable and that are long term, and that gives you a sense of belonging, which is amazing. Very nice energy for the Virgos. Librans, this is happening in your fourth house. So this is the bottom of your horoscope. This is your emotional support system, how you support you, how you nurture yourself. And there is something that shows itself that has to do with all of that. There could be a restoration of the work-life balance for sure for you, and the more like things that reveal itself that has to do with structure and that has to do with how you do your home, how you literally do your home. I mean, you could be dealing with, especially with Jupiter trining in the 8th house, with situations like buying and selling homes and real estate, inheritances. There could be something happening there, but it's all very positive. It's in those emotional houses, and there is ability for you, even though your ruler Venus squares up to Uranus and is having lots of other things going on that are a bit unsettling. You feel emotionally protected and grounded here, which is nice. The trine of Saturn is in your 6th house, so there is a little bit more structure available here for you for your day-to-day routines that you're doing, the things that you do to stay healthy, and your work as well. Scorpios, this is happening in your 3rd house, this full moon. So this is on a mental level. Something shows up. There could be like you're having... you are like guiding or helping to structure some event in your neighborhood, doing a workshop or doing a barbecue in the neighborhood, in your street or whatever, with neighbors or with siblings, because this 3rd house is a very social house. So you could be very social around this time, but in a very, you could say, responsible way, like you are taking the lead there. In another way, this could mean that when you have your own business, that there is some accomplishments that you've been doing on your website. It's the PR house. I call it a PR house when you have your own business. This trine to Jupiter is in your 7th house. So you're getting the support of other people. At least there's one person, single, or if you're single or not single, at least there's one person who's got your back, who is supporting you. Be open for that, because it's nice, gentle energy. They have your best interest, and you can learn a lot from that. There's also a trine to Saturn in your 5th house. So that's making a grand trine for you, actually. And that means that on the creative side of life, on the expressive side of life, it is a bit more serious, yes, but it's very grounded and very real. So yes, you could be doing that hobby, or you could be establishing more stability in those hobbies, in your love life, in your connection with your children. This energy is all available for you. Sagittarians, this is happening in your 2nd house. So for you, this has to do with your worth, your value, this moon there, your finances. So there could be a culmination that you see how your structures are on a financial level, but also how you feel about yourself. So the accomplishment, it's a full moon, so it's about the accomplishments of the last weeks and months that you have been putting effort into having better finances, but also having better value of self. And that shows definitely a trine to Jupiter to the work house. So that could be for you a promotion, some windfall that has to do with your work, that has to do with money, that has to do with maybe a new job for some of you with Jupiter in the 6th house. That is way more Jupiterian. That is way more fulfilling for you, because Jupiter is you. So you are in that 6th house. So you are trying to do your best in a real way to have more joy in the day-to-day things that you do in your life. And that includes your health as well. And the trine to Saturn is in your 4th house. So there is more stability there from family, from how you feel secure at home, which is always very, very nice. But the most beautiful thing, of course, is that you feel more secure now, not only financially, but also you're more confident. I can't put it in other words. You're more confident. Not that Sagittarians aren't, but there could be something also that is talked about and thought about the resources of other people. So there could be coming money your way as well from others, from tax return, inheritances, loans, and so on. Capricorns, this is your full moon, and it's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one if you're looking at the aspect. So something comes to fruition, you could say, and something comes to your consciousness, not only about yourself, but also about your relationships, your significant other, if you are in a relationship, or other people that are important for you, that consider a heart connection and that consider a person that you have an eye on, for instance, and now with this full moon, you can see that there is them and there is you and there is balance, or you're trying to have that balance, because the Jupiter trine is in your 5th house. So for a lot of you, that could be romance here, or definitely someone that makes your heart tick a little bit faster here. And but it's in Earth signs, so it's all under control, and it's all real. It's not like that fantasy. It's becoming very, very real. So some of you could have really a very real, but at the same time, a very inspired romantic connection. Could also mean that if you have children, that they are going through something very positive and it has a knock-on effect on you. And also it's about you showing what your needs are. And there is this balance of how you can express yourself. With Jupiter in your 5th house, there is this balance of you can show what you love to do. You can show your hobbies, the pleasure that you want in life. You can make it real now. You can go to the best restaurants or whatever, your favorite food, and to share that with the people that you love. The trine to Saturn, which is your ruler, is in the third house. So this trine to Saturn in the third house shows that you are stable in the way that you think, and it's not too much, not too strict, not too rigid, not too over the top. It's very stable. And also your connection, there is a seriousness and a long-term energy around the connections with siblings, the connection with neighbors. It's actually a really social house, but there's more stability here now. So good for you. Aquarians, this is happening in your 12th house. So this is all behind the scenes. There's something that comes up that has to do with your 12th house and your 6th house. When we have these full moons in the 12th house, it's something behind the scenes that becomes very clear. You could have done a lot of work lately around your patterns that weren't that healthy. And now there is this possibility that you see that you've worked hard for making your patterns healthier by also the Sun and Mercury in your 6th house, by focusing on your health, by focusing on healthy routines, by letting go of patterns that have led you too much in the past towards going over the top when it comes to escape life and when it comes to because that gives you consolation. So you're trying to balance that part of your life out, and it's showing now itself, for better or for worse, depending on what you've been doing lately. It shows the first results here, and it's trining Jupiter in your 4th house, which means support, emotional support that you are giving yourself. So this is nice. It also means finding more purpose at just being at home, and finding more understanding there, and finding more support, because there is more self-love. There is more love for the child in you, you could say, with this Jupiter in your 4th house. The trine to Saturn is your 2nd house, which could mean that either your finances are getting more structured, or either or both your confidence is growing. It's slow though. It is a very slow process, but it's going forward. So it's not exponential, but it's steady and surely. So you better have this steady and surely, that all of a sudden in a peak and then going down again. So this is very good news for Aquarians. It's more on an emotional level that this full moon is working, but very nice energy as well. Notwithstanding the fact Venus square Uranus is going on in the relationship where there's a lot more unsettledness, but your emotions are going the right way and it's likely that it's staying that way. Pisceans, this is happening in your 11th house. This is beautiful because this is the full moon in your 11th house. You could be having a ball, but not really having a ball in the flamboyant way, but more in a way that you're doing something with friends, and you're a bit the leader role, you could say. And or some friends or a friend is important during this time. A goal could be accomplished here as well, because it's the 11th house. Or also when you work for yourself, if you have your own company, there could be like a new way of income showing itself here. Or if you've worked hard to have an extra income of a business of your own, this is definitely this revelation here and showing the first results. It's trining your Jupiter in the 3rd house. So definitely you Pisceans who are having a business of your own and doing PR and all that kind of stuff, it could be really, really big with Jupiter in Taurus and really, really real. So go on the social media and so on and do it. You're going to be feeling at the same time very grounded and very real. It's also going to stay that way. Because of Saturn in your 1st house, trining the Sun there in Cancer in your 5th house of self-expression. So you're getting so much support on an emotional level, but also on a heart level. And that is really, really fine. So you're also dealing with epiphanies, you could say, around friendships that you've been having. You know what you bring on the table. You know what they bring on the table, and that gives you some structure, some consolidation, and you like that. You know, this Capricornian energy is earth energy, and earth and your water energy goes well with each other. So it shows that you're finding stability with all of that. The trine is very, Saturn in your house is normally not the easiest, but now because it makes that trine to the sun in your fifth house, it's what we call a grand trine. So, that is amazing. It shows that from the first house to the fifth house, there is expression, there is stability, in a way that stability around emotions. And that is a big one, certainly for Pisceans that tend to every now and then go with the flow and go with the emotions of other people, but not now. Now there is more stability, there is more groundedness in the self, and more, healthy boundaries as well with others and with yourself. So it starts with yourself, doesn't it? If you're saying like, I'm not gonna eat chocolate, I'm not gonna eat the whole bunch of chocolate, and you're doing it anyway. I'm talking about that kind of energy. You're saying now, no, not today, only Saturday and Sunday, and it's working. It's working because of the Saturn in your sign. And you're feeling very strong because of that. And it's good that you feel strong. It's good that you own it. Anyway, having said that, thank you so much for watching, and have a very good full moon, all of you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.